Good morning, guys. Lesson 108 for math today. Geometry. We're talking transformation. So if you don't have your book, now would be a good time to get it. There's a lot of pictures and some vocabulary. So we are on page 561. We're on lesson 108. Okay. So today we're talking transformations. So how to determine if two figures are congruent. Okay. What does congruent mean? Does anyone remember? Maybe. I'm sure all of you are raising your hand. Anyway, congruent means that a shape has the same size and the same shape as one another. So if you have two, how can you figure out if they are congruent? You'll see on lesson 108 on the bottom of page 561, you have two figures. Triangle ABC and triangle XYZ. And they're trying to determine if these two are congruent and how could we do that. And they're turned different ways. And we need to do a few geometry things to determine if they're congruent. Okay, so we have three terms in this lesson that you have to know. So translate, reflect, and rotation. Where's that one? Rotate. Okay, so three words we need to know. So translate, reflect, and rotation. So if we rotate something, we want to turn it. Now, when they ask you what we had to do, you're not going to return, you're going to write rotation or rotate. Okay? A reflection means we have to flip it. Okay? So you want to flip it. And to translate something means you have to slide it. Okay? So slide. So translate, reflect, rotation. So slide, flip, turn. Just ways to remember, little tricks to remember. But there's also a fun little graph on page 562 that you can look at the bottom of the page that will help you remember what these three terms mean. So let's look what they mean. So if you have your book open to page 562, you should be able to see what each one means. So triangle ABC, they have standing something like this. A, B, and C. Okay? And to see if XYZ is the same, they want it to rotate. So you have something that looks like this. And how are you going to get that to rotate? You're going to make a 90-degree turn. Okay? Right? That is a rotation when you just need to turn it, but it stays sitting on one point. So one of those points doesn't move and it rotates around it. Okay? Translation just means you got to slide something over. So if you have, hold this way. If you have X, Y, and Z, and let's say way over here is A, B, C, and pretend I drew these and they're the same size and same shape. If we want to translate it, mean to slide it, that just means we can slide this over here. Okay? We can slide it over. And if we have, let's see, this triangle sitting here, and another one that's like this, that's the same one, and we want to see if they're the same. Can you see that over my shadow? We want to see if it's the same. Okay, we are going to reflect, so that means without moving this edge, it's like folding a piece of paper, and we lay it over the top. Is it going to be the same? Okay? All right. So, let's see here. It says, and let's look at the practice set for a couple of them, and then you guys can figure them out. You are going to need graph paper, so hopefully you have that. It says, for problems A through E, what transformation or transformations could be used to position triangle 1 on triangle 2. Now, if you're not looking at your book, I wish you really, really wish you would, because I can't draw these things. So you might as well look at your book. They already drew them for us and they're perfect. Okay, so for exercises F, triangle ABC is reflected across the y-axis. Now remember, they labeled them for you. So this, when we're talking about graph paper and we're talking, my pen is running out. So if we're doing something like this, this is the y, this is the x. Remember, y, x. Okay. So I'm not going to do all of these with you, but let's look at A. A has 2 triangles. It has triangle 1 on top and triangle 2 on the bottom. Oh, Lord. I still can't draw. I was hoping that had changed from yesterday. No such luck. Okay. Triangle 1 and triangle 2. Okay. What do we need to do to make sure to get triangle 1 on triangle 2? So if I look at this one, they're already connected, so that's that piece of paper. Can I fold it over? So what did we say the piece of paper was? What is the move we make? The reflection, right? So on my paper, I'm going to write reflection. I needed to use reflection to get triangle 1 on top of triangle 2. Okay? Now you're going to do B, C, D, E, and F. And you're going to and some of them, I'm going to tell you on D and on E, you're going to have to do 2 things to get triangle 1 onto triangle 2. That's okay. And it doesn't matter which order you do them in. So you'll need to do 2 things on D and E to get them on top of one another. Okay? Holler at me if you have any trouble. I think you've actually seen all this stuff before. Remember to use your math terms, not the tricks. So rotate or rotation, translation, and reflection. Okay? Have a good day, guys.